Good morning. I'm Lisa Marzilli with the WMNF News headlines. Calling her suspension a political hit job, Orange County State Attorney Monique Worrell railed against Governor Ron DeSantis in a press conference yesterday, saying he has been searching for a reason to remove her from office for over a year. In a sudden announcement Wednesday morning at the Florida State Capitol, DeSantis accused Worrell of neglect of duty and incompetence, charges he also used in the firing of twice-elected Hillsborough County State Attorney Andrew Warren more than a year ago. DeSantis' office claimed Worrell refused to prosecute a crime that allowed a 19-year-old suspected shooter to remain on the streets. Well, yesterday, Worrell pushed back against his claims that violent crime is surging in her district.
I am not aware of any actual articulable reason that has been given. If you listen to the statistics given from the Orange County Sheriff's Office, crime is down in Orange County. If you listen to statistics from the Orlando Police Department, crime is down in the 9th Judicial Circuit. So while they are giving a false narrative that I have failed to prosecute and I have led to people not being protected in this community, the statistics show that people are now more protected than ever under my leadership for the last 3 years.
U.S. Representative Maxwell Frost, whose district includes Orange County, called Worrell's suspension a blatant abuse of power and fascism, adding that Florida residents have become pawns in DeSantis' long-term plans for total and absolute power. Demonstrators and political leaders rallied in Tampa yesterday. WMNF's Chris Young reports they want charges to be dropped for protesters facing court after challenging the University of South Florida's diversity policies.
Protesting is not a crime.
Justice for the Tampa 5.
Protesting is not a crime.
Justice for the Tampa
Demonstrators chanted outside of the downtown Tampa courthouse where the self-proclaimed Tampa 5 faced their next court hearing. Defendants were arrested in March while protesting new laws limiting diversity issues at USF. Some faced felony charges, including battery on a law enforcement officer. Democratic State Representative Anna Escamani from Orlando called for their charges to be dropped.
The fact that we have a DeSantis-appointed state attorney that is going to attempt to put these kids in prison is disgusting.
The Tampa 5 claimed that they were offered a plea deal, but it would have required them to admit guilt and apologize to police in exchange for the possibility of dropped charges. They declined. Democrat Pat Kemp is a Hillsborough County commissioner.
We stand here with you all, and I'm sure most of Hillsborough County stands here with you all.
According to the National Literacy Directory, 1 in 6 adults in the U.S. lack basic reading skills. As WMNF's Colleen Cole reports, a local Girl Scout is trying to help improve literacy.
Elaine Feaster is part of the Girl Scouts of West Central Florida. Feaster designed an online literacy resource portal called scoutingforbooks.com that has reading resources for adults and children.
In order for a child to really understand school and just going on and making a better future for themselves, they need to have the fundamentals of literacy and learning how to read, because once they figure out how to read, then they can learn anything that they want.
There could be consequences for children who aren't able to read properly.
The implications of not being able to read well is dropping out of school, misbehavior and unemployment, and the majority of youth in juvenile detention and even adults in prison are functionally illiterate.
In addition, Elaine collected and donated thousands of books to at-risk students as well as communities. In each of these books, she stamped the phrase, read, share, repeat, to inspire others to share these books.
So it's really important that these children at a young age are able to have the fundamentals of learning how to read and literacy skills.
For WMNF News, I'm Colleen Cole in Tampa.
Valerie Crowder reports that 3 state agencies are getting started on rules to implement a new law that restricts certain people from buying property in Florida based on the country of origin.
The new law went into effect nearly a month ago and without the rules has led to confusion. Natalia Ouellette-Grice is an attorney who represents real estate investors. She says regardless of the rules, the new law is seriously concerning.
Florida is a state that's filled with such a diverse population, many of whom are either foreign nationals or they have ties to people abroad, strong ties with people abroad, that the thought that there would be restrictions on who can buy property in the state of Florida, especially involving people from Cuba, people from Venezuela, put a big red flag of panic on the realtor community.
The new law places varying degrees of land buying restrictions on certain people from several different countries, including China, Venezuela, and Cuba. It also requires them to register their property with the state. And now anyone purchasing property in the state must first sign an affidavit attesting that they're not prohibited from purchasing property under the new law. The State Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, the State Department of Commerce, and the Florida Real Estate Commission are working on rules to enforce the new restrictions. I'm Valerie Crowder.
And Spectrum News reports the extreme heat pushed Tampa Electric's customers to set a new record Tuesday for summer electricity use, the highest amount of electricity used at any one moment, with 4,640 megawatts. That surpassed the previous hourly record of 4,514 set 2 years ago by the largest margin the company has ever experienced in summer. Archie Collins, president and chief executive officer of Tampa Electric, said this weather is not easy on our customers. Air conditioners are working harder and bills are higher as a result. I'm Lisa Marzilli with the WMNF News headlines on 88.5 FM and WMNF.org.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.